The history of the unwrapping of the Herculaneum scrolls is littered with failures.
For 40 years, it sat in a vault. It looked like a piece of charcoal, completely burned and useless. If you touched it, it would turn to dust.
Everyone who had tried to open the scrolls had left behind a hideous trail of fragmentary result.
If you tried to open it, you would destroy it forever. Archaeologists knew it was a scroll, but they had zero hope of ever reading it. It was a dead object, a mystery lost to fire and time. But then a team of scientists decided to do something that sounded like pure science fiction. They used technology designed for medicine to look inside the charcoal without ever touching it. And what they found didn't just surprise them, it completely rewrote the history books. The ashes of a lost empire. It has been 7 decades since the Dead Sea Scrolls changed everything we knew about history. Since then, around 80 new fragments of ancient texts have been revealed to the public, and they are now being deciphered 2,000 years later, thanks in part to artificial intelligence. But one discovery stood out from the rest, hidden deep inside the ruins of a Dead Sea synagogue. Archaeologists found a scroll so badly burned, it crumbled into powder at the slightest touch. And get this, that is a phenomenon that we see affecting the Dead Sea Scrolls no less than any other kind of archaeological artifact. For more than 40 years, no one could read even a single letter. Then AI stepped in and rebuilt the writing line by line. This is the story of the lab where experts examined fragments from the Dead Sea Scrolls discovered 70 years ago. And when the text finally appeared, its message was nothing like what scholars expected. In the early 1970s, a team of Israeli archaeologists was working at Ein Gedi, a small oasis village on the western side of the Dead Sea. Ein Gedi was not just any dusty outpost. It had fresh springs, palm trees, terraced fields, and a long Jewish history. Ancient writers like Josephus and Pliny the Elder described it as a place with rich date palms and valuable balsam plants that were used for perfume and medicine. Over many centuries, this little oasis had been a real town with houses, workshops, and later a large synagogue at its center. By the time the modern diggers arrived, the synagogue was a ruin. The stone walls still traced the outline of the prayer hall. The floor preserved parts of a colorful mosaic carpet with Hebrew and Aramaic words, a list of names, and even a warning not to reveal the secret of the town to outsiders. That inscription probably referred to the recipe for the precious balsam oil that made the village rich. For the people who once lived there, this synagogue was the heart of the community. They gathered there to pray, to hear the Torah read, and to keep their identity alive under changing rulers. The synagogue itself had been discovered a few years earlier by chance when members of the modern kibbutz at Ein Gedi were laying a water pipe and hit ancient walls. Proper excavations followed in the 1970s. Archaeologists found that the synagogue building went through several phases. It began as a simpler hall and was later rebuilt as a more impressive basilica-style structure with a raised platform for reading, decorative mosaics, and a special niche or cabinet on the western side. That niche was the Ark, the holiest spot in the building where Torah scrolls were kept. On a day in May of 1970, the team opened that Ark. Behind the stone and plaster, they expected the remains of scrolls, but what they actually saw looked more like pieces of burned wood. Inside the Ark and on the floor nearby were several lumps of material, completely black, crushed and shiny from burning. These were not clean rolls of leather. They looked like charcoal. Every time someone tried to lift one, tiny flakes broke off and fell away. Even so, the team quickly realized these were not random bits of wood. The shape, the position in the Ark, and the fact that they were layered like tight rolls all pointed to one thing. These were Torah scrolls, handwritten copies of the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible that had once been read out loud to the people of Ein Gedi. But the discovery was about to turn into a 40-year standoff with a lump of coal. The Silent Vault of Time. The synagogue itself seems to have been built around the 3rd century of the Common Era. It remained in use until the village was destroyed by fire in the 6th or early 7th century. The burned beams, the collapsed roof, and the layer of ash across the floor all tell the same story. A sudden, violent end. Archaeologists disagree on who set that fire. Some think it was part of a campaign by the Byzantine Emperor Justinian against Jewish communities. Others suggest it was a Bedouin raid before the later Persian invasion. In either case, when the flames reached the ark, the parchment and ink baked, collapsed, and fused into a brittle mass. Alongside the burned rolls were other objects from the same ark. Oil lamps, silver pendants, coins, glass fragments, and even bones from kosher animals that may have come from community meals. All of it together showed this was a living synagogue with regular worship and rituals, not a museum display. At this point, the archaeologists faced a very simple and harsh choice. The science of caring for old objects was not as advanced as it is today. If they tried to cut the scroll open by hand, they would almost certainly destroy it. If they left it alone, it would stay intact, but no one would ever know what was written inside. The archaeologists and museum staff chose to save the object rather than sacrifice it for text. They carefully lifted the largest burned lump from the ark, supported it so it would not collapse under its own weight, and sent it to the Israel Antiquities Authority for storage. There it was cataloged as a scroll from Ein Gedi and placed in a climate-controlled room, still locked in its charcoal shell. This idea is often called textual plurality, but all it really means is that the wording of Scripture was not yet completely fixed everywhere. That is why a burned Torah scroll in a later village synagogue near the same sea was such a big deal, even if no one could read it. After the excavation, the excitement slowly faded. The Ein Gedi scroll sat in storage in Jerusalem inside a box inside a vault. Conservators checked on it now and then to make sure it was stable, but no one tried to read it. For more than 4 decades, the question of what does it say was simple. No one knew, and no one had any safe way to find out. But technology was about to catch up with history in a massive way. Resurrection through the machine. That quiet finally began to change in the early 21st century when imaging specialists and computer scientists started asking a simple but bold question. Instead of cutting fragile scrolls open with blades and fingers, could they somehow look through them from the outside? Hospitals use scanning machines to look inside the human body, and conservators wondered if the same idea could work on a burned scroll. To test it, they turned to a machine called a microCT scanner. A normal CT scan is the type of X-ray machine a doctor uses to see inside a chest or a head. It takes many thin X-ray pictures through the body from different angles. A computer then stacks those thin pictures together into a 3-dimensional model. A microCT scanner works the same way, but it is tuned for small, solid objects instead of people. It can capture very tiny changes inside a piece of material. The team placed the Ein Gedi scroll inside the scanner. The machine sent a strong X-ray beam through the scroll as it slowly turned. Each time the scroll rotated a little, the scanner recorded another thin slice of what was inside. When the scan was finished, the computer held a 3-dimensional block of data that showed the whole interior of the scroll. The curator still had no idea whether any ink would show up. All they had at first was a cloud of gray tones that represented different densities of material inside the charred lump. When they examined the scan more closely and adjusted the contrast, something interesting appeared. Inside the gray shape of the parchment were brighter streaks that looked different from the rest. The parchment itself absorbed some of the X-rays. Empty air absorbed even less. But the ink, which contained heavier elements like metals, absorbed much more. That difference showed up as thicker, brighter lines in the scan. For the first time, the team could see that the scroll still held ink strokes inside. That meant there were still letters there. There really was a hidden text trapped in the burned roll. At this point, the job passed from conservators to computer scientists. The digital scan, which was a huge 3-dimensional file, was sent to William Brent Seals and his group at the University of Kentucky. He had spent many years working on ways to recover writing from damaged manuscripts using computers. His goal with the Ein Gedi scroll was simple to say, but very hard to do. He wanted to do inside the computer what no one could risk doing in real life. He wanted to find each layer of the scroll, treat those layers as pages, flatten them, and then show any ink strokes on those pages in the right order. The first problem his team had to solve was understanding the shape of the scroll inside the scan. To a person, the scan would look like a messy set of curved and folded surfaces, all pressed together and warped by fire. The computer had to find where one layer ended and the next layer began. The team wrote software that could trace the path of a thin sheet through the three-dimensional block, almost like drawing lines around each layer of an onion. In their papers, they call this step segmentation, but in simple terms, it means the computer learns to follow one sheet of parchment at a time as it twists and curves inside the lump. This was not easy. The heat from the synagogue fire had warped the scroll. In some places, layers were stuck together. In other places, there were bubbles, gaps, or folds. The software had to handle double layers, tiny cracks in places where it was not clear if the material was parchment or something else. The team had to tune their method so that the virtual surface they traced stayed close to the real parchment and did not jump between layers. But tracing the paper was useless if they couldn't see what was written on it. The ghost in the data. Once the software had a clear map of a single layer, the next step was to paint the right information onto that virtual surface. Remember that the scan contained information about density at every point. Some spots showed parchment, some showed air, and some showed ink. The team wrote code that took the darker, denser spots that corresponded to ink and wrapped that pattern onto the virtual parchment layer they had traced. This step is called texturing. The idea is simple. The computer turns the raw scan into a fake but accurate image of what that layer of the scroll would look like if you could peel it out and stretch it in front of you. Of course, in real life, the parchment layer is curved. It wraps around itself many times. You cannot see all of it at once unless you flatten it. So the team added a final step. They took each traced and textured layer and mathematically pulled it flat, like pressing a crumpled sheet of paper until it lies smooth. Then they stitched those flattened pieces together at the edges. When this was done, the computer could show a single flat image that represented one full turn or wrap of the scroll. With the Ein Gedi scroll, the process worked so well that they could recover clear text from 5 complete wraps of the animal skin. The final flattened view showed 2 side-by-side columns of writing. In total, there were 35 lines of Hebrew script. Each line held about 33 or 34 letters. The letters themselves were tiny, less than 1/10 of an inch tall, yet they still showed up as sharp, clear shapes on the computer screen. Some lines were complete, others were broken where the parchment had cracked, but enough survived that the words were readable. To make this possible, the team used artificial intelligence tools to detect patterns in the writing. The software learns to tell the difference between random noise in the scan and the specific shapes that belong to real ink strokes. So here is the real question. If AI can read books that have been burned to charcoal for 2,000 years, what other lost history is just one scan away from being found? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this mystery, hit that like button and subscribe for more.